Alcoholic again. Almost 3 years, getting ready to leave the country to another. So that's caused me to deal with some issues that I didn't have to deal with for quite a while. Going back to the family area country, a family of origin. And I guess I'll talk about the kid. My kid, I don't normally, the one that I know about. I mean, I went out with a few women and a few blackouts, and I don't know what happened there. I probably have more. I don't. The one that I know of, we were just basically having a fling, you know. I met her at a street fair, and then we just started banging each other and all that stuff. And then she moved to California, and I wrote her funny letters and stuff. And then I went down there and started banging her in Sunnyvale, California, and I got a job down there in Sunnyvale. And then we moved back up to Washington, and then we lived together for a while in Fremont. And I thought she was on the pill. And yeah, we both went to Planned Parenthood and everything, so we were just banging away as usual. And I assumed she was on the pill, and then I headed back down to California on another job. I don't know whether it was an acting job or whatever. I don't remember at the time, but and then she calls me and she's like, "Oh well, what do you want to name the kid? It's 5 months, 5 months pregnant." You know, I'm like, "What the? I don't know. Whose kid? Your kid. Okay." So I come back to Washington, and sure enough, she's. I go into the apartment. That's the first thing. Open up the frickin' sink underneath, and frickin' sure enough, there's 5.5 packs of birth control. So she wanted to frickin' have my kid. She stopped taking the pill, basically. Framed, set up. Sperm vacuum, whatever you want to call it. I felt trapped. I was in a band that that did tour and eventually did very well in the grunge era, and I was in the grunge scene heavily and all that stuff. And I was in a band, and I couldn't tour anymore because I had to play daddy and raise his kids, so I didn't get to do that. Plus, I wanted to explore the world. No way did I want to settle down. Plus, I was all doped up on everything. No way did I want to settle down. So her parents were pissed off because I didn't marry her. And then at this one barbecue, I could see her making eye contact with my best friend at the time. And I could tell that they were going to have sex. It was just a weird type of energy thing I got. I pick up on things about people or whatever. I could just tell they were going to have sex. I didn't know when or why. So I figured, okay, I'm going to beat her to the punch. So I have these two twins that I know, and I told her I'm going up camping. And then I screwed the twins for the weekend up in Bellingham, and then go back to Seattle and everything. And I'm coming out of the shower, and then next thing I know, I get kicked in the nuts, and I'm on a fetus position in the floor in extreme pain from getting kicked in the nuts nude when I got out of the shower. So my good friend that works at Dick's Drive-In in Seattle on Capitol Hill was the last place where we ate. Before we went up to Bellingham, felt that it was his liberty to tell her that frickin' what happened. So he tipped her off because he wanted to get down her pants because she basically looked like a Playboy model with her clothes off. She looked pretty good back then. So then it went to me working a regular job and paying child support and all that stuff, and then they wanted to put him on Ritalin. He was like 4 or 5 years ahead of all the kids. Really bright kid. And he had a 197 IQ. 197 at that time. So he's pretty bright. 197 IQ is pretty bright. And it's all from her side of the family. It is. And so, anyways, he's like acting up in the classroom and all that stuff. And I know it's because they're not feeding him enough mentally. He's not getting enough mental stimulation. And they classify him as ADD. So they put him on Ritalin. And that's when I fucking basically wrote him off. You know. I just gave up. And also, when she was 1 year pregnant with him, she overdosed on. I mean, after a year, when he was like 7, 8 months old, she overdosed on coke. She was getting letters from California from her friend Shelly, and they had cocaine in them. I knew she was on coke, but I thought she'd at least have the decency to not be on cocaine. I'm kind of backtracking here, but the Ritalin brought that up, and so she's freaking pregnant with my son and doing coke. That's America. So I'm a crack daddy baby. A crack baby daddy. Crack baby daddy. I'm a crack baby daddy. I never liked this stuff that much. And that's been the full story, basically. So I've been struggling with her family off and on for years. I gave up because of my own alcoholism and all this stuff, and I was struggling with my own alcoholism like I have been for years. And I just gave up on taking care of him, or, being around him and all that stuff right around when he was 7. When they put him on Ritalin. I'm the scapegoat. I'm the bad guy. She's always right. She's headstrong. She always argues. She's in denial about a few things I can't really mention in this video. The family secret, And then he gets into the service. He does really well. With the high-speed fighter jets and all that stuff. He could be a nuclear pilot, or he could be a pilot, nuclear engineer, all that good stuff. Like I said, he has a high IQ. Gets out of the service, he's going to go to school. Now he's freaking getting stoned and getting drunk. And I'm arguing with the ex. Well, I never married her. I'm arguing with the mother. I'm saying, he shouldn't be freaking drinking or taking drugs at all. Because he disowned me one time. He said, until you get a year sober, Dad, until you get a year sober, I'm not going to talk to you. You're clean and sober, I'm never going to talk to you. So a couple months ago, I sent him an email saying, well, the tides have changed, because I'm coming up on 3 years now almost. I said, I'm not talking to you till you get a year sober, and I'm not going to. Because it's too painful to watch your own kid die from alcoholism. I know what I went through being a practicing alcoholic. And I know the thousands and millions of dollars that I wasted. And just the potential of things I could have done in life. Just wasted by my addiction, by my alcoholism. But I had a rough start. I grew up in a family like that. I was doped up since I was 5. I didn't have a chance from day one. I was put on drugs. That's another story. We're on him now. But and he's surrounded by my ex. I just say ex. We were never married, but he's surrounded by her, and she's got some weird boyfriend. She's always got some weird boyfriend, a heroin addict or whatever. I don't know what he is, you know. And he's just surrounded by people in denial, and he's back out of the service, and he's just wasting time, and he's doped up, and he's drunk. And he used to have a 197 IQ. He was a really freaking could have been a good asset. He could have got into investment banking or something, or even in the service, he could have done really well. Or still could, but he's just, then he had a kid, and there's really nothing I can do. I mean, from being around alcoholism and AA for years and all that stuff, and how I've fucking screwed myself up so many times from car wrecks, and you wouldn't believe if I started talking about the stuff that I've done, but to still be alive. He's basically dead to me. And there's nothing really I can do. He's an adult. And it's really too bad that he's going down the path that I used to. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. So my son he's basically dead. It's just a matter of time. Unless a miracle happens. It's a real fucking waste. I did it to myself. You know, I ruined everything that I could have been. I knew what I was. Watch your kid. I was hoping he would never ever end up. You know, I stayed around. I stayed away from him when I was doing my stuff. I mean, he saw me drunk like 3 times. I kept him in the dark about all the other stuff I was doing. I never exposed him to anything. And to see him getting into the type of life I used to live gradually, he's nothing I can do. I mean, I know too well that until an alcoholic hits bottom and they hold up their hand and say, I need help, I'm ready to stop. You know, until that happens, he's in another world. There's nothing I can really do about it.